Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we are in full winter weather. It is cold out, the days are short, it's starting to snow, at least where I am in Toronto. So what better time than now to share with you my top winter wardrobe essentials that I think will never go out of style. These are the pieces that I think anybody in any wardrobe could benefit from having, especially if you live in a colder climate. And I'm also so excited to share that today's video is sponsored by Songmont. You guys have seen their Luna bag floating around in a lot of my videos lately, and that's because I have been wearing her constantly. I absolutely adore Songmont pieces. I was wearing their large suede drippy tote throughout pretty much the whole end of summer and through fall. Now it's not really that wise to be wearing a suede bag with the cold and wet weather coming in now, but they do have gorgeous leather versions on their website. If you've never heard of Songmont before, they create high quality bags made out of full grain and recycled leather where the pieces feel luxurious but at a much more accessible price point. This viral Luna bag is one of my favorites because it's essentially 4 bags in one. You can wear it as a clutch, a crossbody, as a shoulder bag, and even as a wristlet. And they have a ton of other gorgeous options on their website. So I will be styling the Luna bag in the B-roll throughout this video just to show you how versatile this bag is. It's like incredible. What amazing cost per wear. But if you were interested in checking out Songmont for yourself, I will leave everything linked in the description below. But before I get into the staples, I just want to take a second to talk about what timeless style really means. Although the pieces that I show you may lean a little bit more classic and minimalist, that's because these are the pieces from my own wardrobe that reflect my own taste. I think it's really important to find the piece that's essential to you and that you will make timeless in your own wardrobe by actually wearing it season after season. If all you do is take the item off a list that's recommended to you, but it doesn't really fit your taste, your lifestyle, or things that you actually like, then you're not gonna wear it no matter how timeless somebody says it is. And I think when you shift the definition of timeless to that versus that same old, plain white tee, white button-up recommendation, of course those are classic pieces, but if it's not your taste, not your style, or you just hate that silhouette, then it's not for you, and that's totally cool. And that's when style becomes so much more fun anyway. So the first staple I think that anybody would benefit from in a winter wardrobe, especially if you live in a colder climate, is a beautiful wool overcoat. Something I look for in a wool coat as a Canadian, if I'm shopping for one, whether it be new or secondhand, is the material. So for me, my golden rule is to make sure the item contains at least 80% natural fiber content to 20% synthetic. The less natural fibers you have in your wool coat to synthetic, the less warm this will keep you. And in fact, you'll probably just end up sweating in it and end up feeling really cold. So that is something to keep in mind. This coat in particular is 83% wool, 17% nylon. It's quite thick and heavy, and I always make sure that my wool coats are lined. You can get into things like double face wool and things like that, but I just find I really like the thickness and sort of weightiness that a lined coat usually gives me. I get a lot of questions about this coat. It's no longer available on Aritzia's website, but it's called the Elena coat if you want to go search for it secondhand. And when it comes to a wool overcoat, I think it's a beautiful piece that you can choose to dress up and dress down. And it's definitely a piece that you can have some fun with, especially when you live in a colder climate. The coat is really the outfit maker. So definitely have some fun with this. Go with loud colors, loud patterns, really exaggerated prints or lapels if that's your vibe. I think you can just really have a lot of fun with your overcoat. And I think it's a great tool to stay stylish and warm in the winter. I saw this coat about a year ago. It's been on my wish list since, and I've snatched it up because I did see that it was on sale. It is the coat from a brand called Bite, and it's a beautiful long maxi coat. It's a little bit thinner than my Aritzia coat, but it is made of 100% wool, so I still find it very warm. And it has this really interesting exaggerated lapel detail that is actually removable. So if I want to just feel a little bit more classic in it, then I can take it off. And I love that it's still subtle because this is in a navy, so it kind of blends in, but not really. And I just thought it was just a really unique and amazing piece. The next staple is knitwear. So when it comes to knits, I think it's really great to have a mix between your chunky, oversized sweaters and then some thinner sweaters that you can use for layering. I like to make sure that my knits are made of majority natural fibers because again, if they're majority synthetic, it's not gonna keep you warm. And if anything, you're just going to sweat and then freeze. Believe me, I speak from experience. So in the wintertime, I really like to reach for knits that are made of wool, merino wool, cashmere, and even cotton. So one area that did feel like it was lacking in my winter wardrobe was knitwear. So I recently added this 100% cashmere sweater from COS. It's very soft, but it's still nice and thin and lightweight. It doesn't feel itchy on my skin, and I'm pretty picky when it comes to my cashmere. And I just find this sweater feels really robust and high quality. It has all the things that I'm looking for, like the collar bounces back when I stretch it. It's not warping around the bottom. It's a little bit fuzzy, but it's not pilling. So I really like having options like this when I don't want to reach for like a giant chunky sweater. This layers really well under blazers still, under jackets. If you find that you just find wool, cashmere, alpaca to be so itchy on your skin, then don't bother with that because you're not going to wear it. But if you find that for yourself, I think it's really good to try merino wool. Merino wool is such a beautiful fabric to incorporate into your closet in the wintertime. It's a little bit smoother than your traditional wool sweaters, and it keeps you so warm but still being breathable. So I just have two merino wool options to show you. This first one is from COS. It's actually a men's sweater that is in this crazy bright blue because who am I? She's incorporating color into her wardrobe. And it just has a different feel and texture, a little bit more of a flat texture compared to a cashmere or alpaca sweater, which tend to be slightly more fuzzy depending on how fine the thread is. If you're looking for something in 100% merino wool, I have this cardigan. This is the Betty cardigan from Sezane. This was gifted to me when I attended one of their pop-up events in Toronto. And I've been wearing this cardigan a lot lately. I didn't think that Sezane would be my vibe, but there are some pieces that you can really edge up if you want to. And I've just loved this sweater. It is so nice and warm. It's really chic and elevated, but it's also breathable. Like, I stay warm in it, but I don't overheat, because as much as I want to stay warm in the winter, I hate overheating. So merino wool, chef's kiss for that. The next thing you'll want to have in your winter wardrobe is a long sleeve t-shirt. I have this one in the form of a bodysuit. It's made of 50% merino wool and 50% cotton, so it'll keep you nice and warm but still really breathable. Since we're still on the topic of layering, I need to talk about my ultimate layering piece, which is a blazer. But in the colder winter months, this is when I really like to lean into fabrics like leather and wool specifically. So like today, I'm wearing this vintage Banana Republic blazer that I thrifted off of Depop. And I like a leather in the colder months just because it just feels a little bit more hefty, and it also is such a great tool to add some contrast and edge to any outfit that you're creating. And when it comes to blazers, I have blazers that I can wear all year round, but this is when I really reach for my wool or wool blend blazers a lot more. I'm really seeking out that wool in my blazer because it's just another piece that will add warmth to your closet while still feeling really put together and stylish. This is a blazer I've had for years. It's the Aritzia Agency blazer. If you are looking for this blazer in particular, I would try to find one secondhand that's a bit older, because I feel like the older versions of this blazer are just a bit more high quality than you can buy today. And Aritzia also has a new agency blazer version, which is made of 100% synthetic materials. So that one I would avoid. You want to make sure you're looking at the composition on the tag. This one is 95% wool, 5% elastane. So it's a much warmer blazer. And I really prefer those natural fibers, especially when it comes to my blazers. This is another blazer that I have recently added. I was influenced to buy it because I saw it on Audrey Coyne and I was just obsessed. So thank you, Audrey. But this is a blazer from a brand called The Curated. And I was really curious about this one for two reasons. One, it's that because it's a more cool toned sort of mushroom brown color. So I think it will just suit me a lot more than some of the other browns that I already own. But I was really drawn to this blazer because of the materials. This blazer is made of 100% wool and it's lined with silk. And I find that really difficult to find. So it's a blazer that's made of fully natural materials. It immediately just made it a little bit more premium to me. And it's definitely something that's going to keep you warm. All right, getting into bottoms, again, I think this is where things like materials really matter. So when it comes to things like trousers and skirts, I think that is when you can really lean into your wool and wool blend fabrications. And in general, in the winter, for winter trousers, I like to make sure that they are lined or that they are loose enough and comfortable enough for me to be able to layer thermal underwear underneath. That is a tip if you don't want to immediately go out and buy some wool trousers right away. Just layer thermal layers under your regular year-round trousers if they're made of cotton, linen, things like that, and it will help you stay warmer. And I think it's a really great way to stretch what you already have across all the seasons. I like to wear my denim all year round in all colors, all shapes, and all sizes, but in the colder months, I tend to like to wear a little bit darker washes because it just tends to look a little bit more polished and refined, whereas lighter wash denim tends to feel a little bit more casual, more relaxed. But there's also that practical aspect to think about. If you're walking around in the slush and snow, then your lighter colored trousers and even denim, they're just gonna show dirt a lot more easily. And then finally, when it comes to skirts and dresses, I really like a maxi skirt in the winter time. One that I think I will be adding to my wardrobe is a wool or knit maxi skirt. I think compared to your silks and satins, they are just a lot thicker with a bit more weight and heft to them. So it's just something that I think will keep you a lot warmer, and it'll be easier to layer underneath with things like leggings and tights. But I just think when you pair them with things like knee-high boots, a great blazer, a great overcoat, I think in the winter it just looks really, really chic. And for things like dresses, I think a one and done knit dress is such a great thing to have in your wardrobe if you do like to dress more feminine. It's like wearing a big sweater that just goes all the way down, kind of one and done dressing to keep you warm in the wintertime. And finally, getting into boots, I think having a knee-high pair of boots in the winter is such a chic layering option. Not only can you layer them very easily under your trousers, so don't forget about that. You don't always have to be showing off the full length of the boot or the fact that it's a knee-high. I love them layered under things like maxi skirts, under shorter skirts, under dresses, and even under wide leg or straight leg jeans. And then I think it's important to have a weather appropriate, more everyday walking boot. I really like things like a Chelsea boot or a boot with like a lug sole that you're not afraid to get a little bit wet and dirty. And something that's just a bit sturdier with some good tread that will keep you standing, but will still look really cool with things like jeans, skirts, and can just take you more places until you really need to start switching into proper snow boots. And then finally, you don't want to forget about things like your accessories. So I love a wool or cashmere scarf. I love a big, chunky, oversized scarf or something that's a little bit more refined. But this is where you can really have some fun with things like colors, patterns, textures. The only thing I make sure I stay away from is anything that feels really itchy. And again, anything that is majority synthetic, because it may look good and feel soft, but it is not going to keep you warm at the end of the day. So those are the winter wardrobe essentials that I think will never go out of style. When it comes to these staples, I think it's important to just fill in the blanks with things like fabrication, shape, color, and silhouette, and really tailor those pieces to fit your aesthetic and what you're looking for in your wardrobe and in your everyday life so you can stay warm and chic. Thank you again to Songmont, as always, for sponsoring today's video. If you want to check them out, I will leave everything linked down below for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday. Stay warm. Bye.